Hey Samara!
Hi.
So what does your role as a BBC production trainee entail?
As a production trainee with BBC Three, I've had the opportunity to get involved with lots of different aspects of production. So from the social media side to creating social media content and engaging with users and producing campaigns, to helping on sets, on shoots, doing audio, working with talent and contributors. I've also had time casting and finding people and developing ideas for new shows, so it's really varied.
When did you make a start in your career?
My journey to TV production was a bit unusual. I actually went to medical school and I qualified as a doctor in 2018. And I worked in the NHS in East London for a year. But while I was in medical school and while I was working as a doctor, I have always really been interested in telling stories. I used to do a lot of journalism, and I managed to get involved with a book project with a good friend called Walcott, and together we co-edited an anthology on mental health of people of colour. And this experience of sourcing stories, putting them together, putting them out there into the world was really exciting for me, and I wanted to learn how to do that in media, in a different platform, so TV, radio, digital, because literature and books aren't really the most accessible format for a lot of people. So I heard about the trainee scheme through someone who had done it a few years ago, and they actually encouraged me to apply. So I took some time out of medicine to kind of pursue this new area, and I'm still here a year down the line.
So what would you say are top 3 skills that you need to work in TV production and content?
I would say flexibility. You make plans, but they don't always go the way you want them to. Schedules change, contributors drop out, maybe the video you hope to use hasn't been cleared, and you have to kind of have that adaptability to respond to changing circumstances and situations, and not let that be a setback, but actually just spur you on to do other things. You need to be good working in teams, something people say a lot, but so much of production is developing ideas with other people, is working with other people, is working with strangers and building those relationships and persuading people to let you into their lives and to capture an aspect of who they are and put that out there on, TV or whatever for everyone to see. And finally, I guess creativity. Creativity can come as, creating new ideas and stories, but it also can be creativity in terms of the edit and how things look visually, how they sound, creativity, I guess, in terms of how you respond to change. So, I think creativity even in how you organise a team and how you put people and things together. So I think, especially as someone coming from a not traditionally creative background, from a science background, it's been really encouraging for me to see how a lot of the skills I picked up before can still manifest in a creative way now.
Who helped you?
Loads of people have helped me. I think even back when I was in university and I was blogging for the first time, the people who read my blog posts, gave me feedback, encouraged me to keep writing. They helped plant those seeds, those early seeds that led me to where I am now. I guess more recently, I have, informal mentors, people in my life who I respect and who I admire, whose character I admire, and speaking with them and seeing what it was that they looked for in a career and what it was about their careers and their lives that they valued and thought were important. And that helped me, I guess, decide what things were important to me and kind of gave me the confidence to take the risk that I took when I, left medicine to go into TV. And of course, there are people who work in TV and media who were really helpful. So because it's a field so different to the one that I was used to, I didn't have really any contacts initially. And it was in fact one person who was interested in something I'd written, who then thought, actually, you know what, maybe you should apply for this production trainee scheme. They told me they had done it a few years before, and it kind of transformed the way they viewed production, and they still work in the BBC now doing production. And they just, they kind of planted the idea in my head. So when it came to the time for me to leave medicine, I thought, actually, this is something I've heard of, let me give it a go. It sounds like it could be good for me. And if it wasn't for that kind of brief conversation with that person, I would never in a million years have considered that I could be at the BBC, much less working in TV. So honestly, I think it's just small conversations with people in your life that kind of push you in the right direction.
What's been one of your best career highlights or achievements so far?
I have loved how many opportunities I've been able to have on this production trainee scheme. Just the huge variety of things that I've been able to do. Almost just being thrown in the deep end on sets. I remember my first ever time on a set, filming set, I was asked to do sound. And I think just those opportunities, often it can take people like months, years to kind of get that hands-on experience in TV, and I was really fortunate to have that, I guess, in my first year in the industry. So I think, my highlights have actually just been all the things I've been able to learn. The BBC Academy is absolutely incredible, and so many resources online, and even in the in-person training that we've had, like camera skills and radio skills, have been so fun, and I think have been some of the most valuable parts of my career so far.
What's been one of the biggest challenges for you during your career so far, and what did you learn from this?
Imposter syndrome? I don't know if that's the right phrase, because it's not that I don't believe I don't deserve to be in the room. I knew I was selected out of thousands of people. I know that I have, I guess, quite a unique perspective that I can bring to the world of TV. But I'm still also aware that, before this trainee scheme, I'd never held a camera. I'm still making my way through online courses on Premiere Pro, and kind of those skills that a lot of people have been using for the last 5 years, 10 years, I'm only just learning now. And I think it can be quite frustrating, at least for someone like me who, has always been a high achiever. I went to medical school, I was working as a doctor, to kind of feel like I've been thrown back to stage one of the career again, because I am at stage one, I don't know anything, and I'm just here to learn. So I think when I am feeling a bit like I don't know what I'm doing, or why do they choose me for this, or I will never ever catch up to these other people who've literally produced films or documentaries for festivals. I think the thing that's been most helpful for me is remembering that this is a training opportunity, this is a learning opportunity, and you have to start somewhere.
What's your ultimate career goal?
I think ultimate career goal, that's a hard one. It's a hard one because I guess I've switched careers quite recently, and I'm one of these people who's not very good at doing just one thing. So at the moment I can't even imagine a future where I'm literally just doing one job. But I think what has been consistent throughout my time as a doctor, and even this short period as a production trainee, has been the desire to put stories out there that at least I find interesting, and that I feel people don't have the opportunity to hear. So, as I mentioned, I co-edited a book on mental health, POC mental health, and I'd love in the future to be able to kind of recreate that on digital platforms. So if you're listening and you are interested in commissioning something on POC mental health, I'm your girl, get in touch. I want to write another book, something maybe in the works, you heard it here first.
So what advice do you have for young women who aspire to get into TV?
I've always been more interested in what TV allowed me to do and who TV allows me to reach. So I guess my main advice would be to think about what is it about TV that you're drawn to. What is it about TV that pulls you in? And I think once you figure that out, you can remind yourself of that when it's getting a bit hard and when you're getting a bit frustrated, or maybe doors aren't opening as quickly as you'd like them to. I think when you remember what it is about TV that makes you want to pursue it so much, that can be your main motivation. And I think once you have that passion, when you have that really clear in your mind what it is you're trying to seek, I think it then makes it easier when you're trying to network and build relationships and get advice from people who maybe have something to offer you. when you've got that kind of clear inside yourself.
Thank you so much for joining me in today's Career Corner, Samara. It's been so nice hearing from you. Take care.
Thanks for having me, TC. This has been really fun. If anyone wants to kind of see what I've been up to and what I'm getting up to, I tweet a lot, Samara_Linton. Or you can check out my website, samaralinton.com. Like I mentioned, always up for collaboration and projects, and I'd love to work with other budding producers and storytellers.